Hey guys, Wolvie here and welcome back to the channel. As always, the usual disclaimer, any opinion here is mine and mine alone. I'm going to go over a couple of Reddit stories. One of them has a bit of an update and the other is the most recent update to an ongoing saga, if you will. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do have a product review for Syndicate. It's completely filmed. I just have yet to post it, and that's because there are some other things going on. I'm trying to prepare myself for a sense of like the office is going to a new building, blah blah blah. So I just want to prepare for that in a sense. But either way, we're gonna go jump right into this, and we're gonna go into the story. I know Mark Narrations have he's done it on his channel. I'm going to do my take on it. Now, the user in question here regarding the story where Mark Narrations, he is a UK YouTuber who does Reddit stuff. He's covered it on his channel. I'm going to do my take on this particular story. It has an update, so, and we're going to go into their very first post. It is from the Am I the Asshole with the H subreddit. It's the Am I the family. And the first post was about towards the beginning of this month. It says here, am I the asshole for refusing to step down as a bridesmaid because of my boyfriend's ultimatum? Now, there is a trigger warning here for a stillbirth, but I'll let you guys know when that information comes along. Now, so we have here OP female 26. And this is a boyfriend of hers at the time, 27 male, quote unquote, Tommy. So, and then here is like fake names for privacy, all that good stuff. Now, for Tommy and OP, they've been together for 11 months. So, OP's older sister is getting married to an individual by the name of Gray. Kimmy is 31 female. Gray is 23 male. Now, here's the thing, regarding Gray, he is a relative to OP's ex-boyfriend, Levi, who is 26 male. Now, you said it's right here, Levi and OP dated for quite some time, and 2 years ago, this is pretty much the gist of it right here. And it turns out OP and Levi are childhood friends. Now, we do know here a piece of information, and this is going to be extremely relevant to my opinion on my personal verdict. And Levi's new girlfriend isn't fond of OP. Because it says here, I attended a few, but once Levi told me that Tammy felt uncomfortable with my presence, I started going less out of respect. This is before I started dating Tommy, so there's a bit of a he said, she said, based on the vibe I got from this particular paragraph. It says, so it turns out, this is right here, and, yeah, it's like, it's a little bit like, yeah. So, here's the thing. So regarding the issue at hand is that OP was picked to be a bridesmaid, Levi was picked as a groomsman, and they were paired off, to walk down the aisle together. So it's like, yeah, you guys get to see hinting towards my verdict, but we're gonna read the update first beforehand. And before the update, we're gonna read a few comments. Now, we know that Tommy is not going to be attending the wedding. He was telling OP either she steps down as a bridesmaid, attend only as a guest, or not go at all, so on and so forth. So, OP goes to her buddy May. I forgot to mention this a little while ago. So, May is OP's bestie, 25 female, and May has a boyfriend, Hunter, 26 male. So, OP went to May and buddies about the situation, and this eventually got back to Levi. So, he actually offered to step down as a groomsman. So, this is pretty much what OP said. Yeah. So you have all this stuff here. Yeah. So it is kind of like a sticky situation either way. So right here it says Tommy is going to be ditched by OP, and this is pretty much OP's second edit to the original post. Last edit, a lot of people are asking why could it be paired with somebody else. So the choosing was OP's sister and the fiance. And I'm going to be addressing that later. So we have all this stuff here, and then it's mentioned here in the edit about the stillborn, which is the trigger warning right now. There is a stillborn, and it's based on OP and Levi. So this is pretty much it so far. We're going to go into a few comments, just figure out what's going on. So they're saying that OP is not the asshole, and then they figuring out a few things here and there. And I'm kind of like, I'm trying to think here. I'm like, I do see where OP is not the asshole, but I think there's going to be some stuff coming up where it's like she is the asshole. So stay tuned. Yeah, the dude wants to mention here that he, like, the dude broke her stuff, so yeah. So based on this alone, it's like, it's not the asshole. But based on this post alone and some of the edits she made, it's like, I feel there is some information being withheld from OP. Or should I say, withheld by OP. Now I'm going to go into some of the controversial comments where, I mean, and this is so far before the updates. Now, someone pointed out, and rightfully so, you're talking about a 31-year-old female, which is OP's older sister, and then the 23-year-old groom-to-be, which is Levi's cousin. Now, granted, OP is mentioning defending the whole thing, they're happy together. I mean, I can understand that because, one of my sisters is like, I'm 43, she's 46, her second husband is in his 20s, so I can see where OP is coming from here. And then this particular reply kind of caught my eye, is catching my eye really good now. It says here, this particular comment, flight talk shite. And this is the reply to OP. It says, I can reply directly to you here. You do know that your family did this intentionally. Yes, there is absolutely no way that they did not look at the planning and know that it would cause problems. But they did it anyway, seemingly to manufacture drama. But let's just put the shoe on the other foot. If your boyfriend was to be walking down the aisle with someone he's had sex with, you're cool with that? We both know, regardless of what lies you spew, that you wouldn't be all right with it. But you came to here to get validation off of a bunch of teenagers anyway. You're pathetic. Your family is pathetic. And let's hope that your ex-boyfriend finds a more respectable family to be a part of in the future. Now, granted, this was very, very heavily downvoted. So, I disagree with that last paragraph. However, I agree with the first two paragraphs because it's like, there's more going on. OP probably is withholding some degree of information, and that is not cool. So we have here, this is a you're the asshole verdict. It says, you're the asshole. I attended a few, but once Levi told me that Tammy, that was pretty much quoting OP. Be willing to cut off interaction because he asked you to, but not refuse to walk down that sort of thing. I actually agree with this. You can see my upvote. Now, granted, this comment says, bullshit, it's her sister's wedding, blah, blah, blah. However, you're talking about somebody who were like members of we have two people who used to date each other, part of a bridal party. This does create drama. So I'm sorry, RP Mag 1979. I have to disagree with you. As some of these you are the assholes have a very good point. Because it's like, yeah. Some people say it's a weird take. However, it's like there's a lot of personal history between OP and Levi. So it's like, is it really worth it? Not quite. Now, I'm gonna, this is, okay, so this is to slutty_mud. Now, this is a very interesting comment. I'm going to read this in its entirety. I'm going to say everyone's the asshole here. ETA, or everybody sucks here. Tommy is first, as he is way out of line in escalating the issue, issuing an ultimatum, and for what he did in your response. He is very clearly wrong. Calling your partner names and breaking their things is insane. Tommy is in no way correct for his actions. That being said, you were 100% willing to be the wedding partner of an ex-boyfriend while dating someone else. That is objectively disrespectful to any relationship you are in. Kimmy could have easily paired you with anyone else to avoid all this drama. Why were her feelings involve you walking with your ex? Then, not only did you not really protest that issue, but you actually defended it against your boyfriend, who clearly took issue with it. Tommy went way too extreme with his reaction. Yes, you should not be with him anymore, and that is his fault. But his initial disapproval of you closely interacting with Levi in any capacity was not uncalled for, necessary use of a double negative. I'd be mindful of Kimmy and Levi going forward. There was clearly something brewing here. So I say Tommy is the asshole like 75%, OP 15%, and Kimmy 10%. Now, this particular reply to that, it says, I agree, Tommy's irrational, went way too damn far, but this all could have been solved with them not pairing up her ex-boyfriend. There was no way during all of this they looked at that and said, there will need, yeah, you get the gist. They probably shouldn't have paired them in the first place. But the discomfort is Tommy's problems, not hers if he's that insecure, blah, blah, blah. Now, this I don't really understand here. This is SKB239. This is what type... This is like, yeah, I'm not so sure where this individual is coming from. So pretty much, this is pretty much a back and forth between, looks like Cornelius Duff and SKB39. I mean, SKB239, I actually have to disagree with you here. And that's for the simple reason it's like, people should be able to be like, this is not good. Sorry. Now, I'm going to go back to the username, so we're going to read the update. Now, it says here at the start, this was a week after the original post, which was about 11 or 12 days ago. It says here, so OP here basically packed up Tommy's stuff, texted his friend to come grab him. So, OP gave Tommy, they pretty much are broken up, 2 days to grab his stuff out of her home. So it says here in the second paragraph, I know some of you might not be happy about this, but Tommy and I ended up having a serious talk after he finished loading his things to the truck. So he apologized, all that stuff. And then this is where things get kind of interesting. I asked him why he suddenly had such a problem with Levi when he never did before. He admitted, so basically Tommy went in through OP's closet. He was looking for something. He what it wasn't specified, and he looked like something. He found something that belonged to OP. It was a personal item, and yeah. So you can pretty much read here. So it turns out that OP has held on to stuff that Levi has given her, which doesn't make OP that reliable. And then you see here, so it turns out OP was finally told that Tommy couldn't like be good enough for Levi, like compared to Levi. And then I think you guys can just read this here, because I'm having a much more difficult time believing OP now, because OP was throwing out stuff that Tony had given her into the trash while she held on to Levi. So yeah, I'm not convinced with the OP at this point. Now, this particular line, like, I have to really think about this, because it's like something I really can't, like, you get the gist. We had nothing else to talk about. He just got up and told me, good luck to the next guy. He's going to need it, especially having to deal with you. Now, OP's reaction is like, that stung. I had nothing but grateful for him, but in the end, that is what he left me with. I cried so much. So at first I was just angry with him, but in the end it was crushing to go through another heartbreak. Dad and cousins stayed with OP that night. So pretty much it's like, yeah. Yeah, something tells me, yeah, you're reading all this stuff as I am, and I'm like, I'm not convinced with this OP. Yeah. Ooh, update number frickin' 2. I just saw this now. It's a small update. There won't be a wedding anymore. My sister Kimmy canceled it. She quit her job, pulled my nephew out of school, left the home she shared with Gray, and moved a few states away to be with her ex-boyfriend, my nephew's father. Kimmy not only wasted a lot of money, but also everyone's time, especially she must have been planning this for months, just a few months before the wedding. It's frustrating and disappointing for everyone involved. Both our family and Gray's are really disappointed. Gray will likely have to move back in with his parents. Kimmy is only speaking to our parents, and I haven't contacted her. I did try to reach out to Gray, but he hasn't been answering. I imagine he's still in shock and heartbroken over everything that's happened. It's understandable given how sudden and devastating this all is for him. I'm really disappointed and hurt, but more than anything, I feel bad for Gray and my nephew. That's all for now. I originally posted this update but separately, but decided to delete it and posted here instead. I thought it would be better this way. With and now all out of the way, what is my final verdict for the saga now? You just read the newer update. The wedding is canceled. I'm going to have to go with everybody sucks here. And OP is a bigger asshole than she thinks she is. Because I am not at all convinced she is over Levi. If you're still talking and being buddies with your ex, I'm not buying this. This is pretty much looking at the title without reading it, reading the first, the original post, reading the first update, and reading the newer update within the update. Everybody sucks here. And I have a very bad feeling Levi's relationship with his new girlfriend will not survive much longer. The reason why I say this in particular is that there's always the possibility of people catching on to Reddit stories. So if I were OP, I'd better have my defenses up and ready. Some of OP's actions in here is just like, she just proved Tommy right. You're not as over Levi as you think you are. And you need to move to another state, lady. But overall, this is a start to finish, everybody sucks here with this particular story. Now, we're gonna get into one of my favorite Redditors. That is Throw Away the Ring Frodo. Now, here's the thing. Regarding her ongoing saga, I know Mark Narrations has covered some of her posts. I know Connor from Marquee Industries has covered some of her other posts. This is one of those sagas where it's like, you're going to be in for a long ride. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that. Now, for those of you who are wondering about her original post, we're going to go into her post history. And let's see here. And this actually goes back to last summer-ish. Last summer, last fall. Now, basically, the TLDR with this particular OP, she has a fraternal twin sister. And it's like, there's a lot of stuff here and there. Some trigger warnings, like, for the gist of all of her posts. 1 is bullying. 2 is self-harm. 3 is eating disorders. 4th is talks of miscarriage. Number 5 is infidelity. Number 6 is divorce. So on and so forth. Now, so all that stuff, yeah, it's just, you actually have to, get onto her profile, read all the stories, because it's just way too much for a singular video. So, yeah. So, we're gonna go into some of the newer updates, and some of the newer updates. Let's goes to 4 months ago, and then the last update was a month ago. So, like I said, I know for a fact the story is not done yet. So right here, is pretty much it. So, yeah. So yeah. So we're going to go into the update. This is a few months ago. So this is pretty much the more detailed version of that. Now, it's a few months ago, so it looks like this particular OP went through for a couple of lawsuits. Her twin sister for defamation, and then the biological father for harassment. Now we're going to jump right into the last update, which was about a month ago. It's called the Turntables. Hey, y'all. It's been super busy with my new job, and I moved in with Will into a home. But just logging in to post this. I sued both Peter and Vi, and they more panicked and hurled abuse and harassment at the address they were getting updates on my communication in the case from my lawyer. That's what pretty much made the case an easy one for her, the lawyer. But put frankly, we have far too much evidence. I don't have a lot of time as I'm traveling home today to visit my mother and brothers, but I wanted to let you all know. Peter has just given up when it comes to the divorce, so soon my mother will be able to just have all the paperwork signed and she can move on. I hope you are all well and thank you all for all the kind comments and messages. Sorry I haven't been responsive. It's been a busy time, but when I can, I will try to share more later. The holidays were as perfect as can be, and now I'm looking forward to spending Valentine's Day with Will in Canada after my trip home. Be kind to yourself. Talk soon. Love, Trouble. Now, I love this particular OP because she knows how to do her wordplay very well. I freaking love her. So way to go, Lily. But anyway, like I said, I don't feel that this particular user, that this story is done. I do want to share certain things with one other user, and that user being PsychFactor. So I was trying to look up to see if she had posted anything new for her story. Unfortunately, her account is suspended. So anything tied to her, if we're going to see anything like further from that particular user in the future, I do hope she creates a new account so we get the last, what else is going on between her and her soon-to-be ex, all that stuff. So that's pretty much all on that. Regarding future videos, it's just a matter of like whenever I have time. It's going to continue to be a bit sporadic, and that's all for this video. With Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.